Hey everybody, Mickey here. Welcome back to the Final Fantasy X walkthrough here. Well, since the last time, we have a couple of sphere gridding here that I want to take care of. Got some intense music there in the background, but that ain't sweating me here. Because we get the very strong ability Hasteca with Tidus. Which, when I get the chance, what I'd like to do is actually use the white magic sphere that we picked up with Yuna, and I'd like to actually be able to teach someone Hasteca. I'm not quite sure who I want to teach quite yet. Kind of leaning somewhere along the lines of either Yuna, possibly even Auron, maybe even Wakka. I'm not really sure quite yet. Something that I didn't really experiment with too much in my test playthroughs, but I mean, that's the thing, there's not really that strong of white magic in this game. I honestly feel that Hasteca is probably the best. You could definitely make an argument for learning Holy, but I don't know, I guess you get that so late in the game that I'm not really too worried about it. They have this chest here, peculiarly speaking, I don't know if that's the best word to describe it, but I think it is very peculiar that they send you into prison and give you the ability to buy items. So what we're going to buy specifically are 99 soft potions, and there's a very specific reason, because what I would like to do is, well, with the gang here, we have equipment or armors that have these empty ability slots, and what we're gonna go ahead and do is customize with Tidus here. If I can go ahead and get the blue shield that's empty. Let's go down and customize Stone Ward. We'll be using this very shortly here, so I'm gonna go ahead and customize Stone Ward for all three of my party members here. Alright then, so if I go ahead and show you guys my equipment setup, I've got Tidus here with the Sonic Steel, as well as the Soft Shield that I've just customized. A little bit of a switch hitter here for Wakka, Soft Arm Guard, and a Soft Targe for Riku, which is going to help out significantly here in the coming battles ahead. There's a few enemies that you can fight over here. I don't know if I'll run into every single one of them. There's an upgraded Sahajin as well as these Remoras. With our strength, they're really nothing to be worried about by any means. There is an ability where not an ability, but you have a chance to run into an octopus enemy here. They're pretty tough. They're probably the toughest enemies in this area, specifically because of the fact that, well, they have armor, and we don't really have anybody outside of Auron in our party right now that can break armor. So, just something to keep note of there. If you run into them, you're just gonna have to go brute force. Now, with Riku in this area, the lightning marbles and electro marbles are... Is that right? Am I thinking those are the right terms for them? Yeah, lightning marbles and electro marbles. You can use those to be able to deal, well, decent damage to these water enemies, but not nearly as much as what Wakka and Tidus are able to do. By stealing, you're able to get items like dragon scales and fish scales, which customize things like water strike and waterproof. Here's one of the octopus that I was speaking of just recently, and you can hear by just the way, well, I won't attack him quite yet, but let's take out these Sahajins here. Go ahead and steal from the octopus. Well, do I want to steal? Yeah, I guess we could steal. The octopus has enough HP to be able to get a few turns in. But yeah, as you'll see here, when we strike the octopus, it doesn't really do that much damage. To show off the electro marble damage here, it's decent. It's far more than Riku would be able to do through just her standard attack, but well, geez, criticals don't really criticals kind of eat through any armor though, so Well, I mean, it doesn't just ignore the armor as far as the damage calculation goes, but at the same time, you're doing crits, you're doing tons of damage. I'm gonna go ahead and equip the Brotherhood to Tidus for this battle, because we're gonna be running into an old enemy that, honestly, we just took out just a couple episodes ago. I'm not exactly sure how this all works. He just gets summoned out of nowhere, but here we're battling Evrae. But a different version of Evrae. Maybe this is supposed to go with the generalized theme of how there's all this death around Spira, and even Evrae Altana, I guess here is its name, survives as well. But anyways, the interesting part about this battle is that we have the ability to open these locks here for the gate. I'm not going to go ahead and do that specifically because if you open those locks, you won't be able to get some of these treasures that are behind the locks. So just take my word for it. You're going to want to take care of this guy before taking out those locks. So let's just start up with Heiska here, and as you'll see with Evrae being dead already, he has the zombie status. So what you could do if you really wanted, I think it's pretty cheap, but you could go ahead and throw Phoenix Downs on him for a really quick, easy boss battle. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult to see where that damage comes from, but in the lower right-hand corner, you can see it. And this is exactly why I went ahead and customized Stone Ward, because of the fact that, well, he does Stone Gaze. Now, I believe if you have Stone Ward, you should be in the clear. I can't say for 100%, but I've never really had any issues with it, so we'll just go on taking care of things as normal here. Jeez, look at, oh my god, 10,000 damage from Waka. God, we are ripping this guy to shreds here. Look at that, he already has 1,300 here. It's ridiculous. Point of the matter is that if we go ahead and take care of Evrae with an overkill of, jeez, I almost missed that one, of 4,000 damage or more, we will be able to get, well, double the drops, which is pretty important because drop something pretty nice that I want to go ahead and get. Yeah, decently dramatic death for something that we've already killed. I don't know how this all works. Does Yuna have to send him too? Well, whatever the case may be, we get a couple of black magic spheres, which are going to be useful because we're actually coming up to those level 3 spells pretty quickly. Now, I might fast forward through this part, but here's one of the treasure chests that I was speaking of. Now, if you open these locks during the boss battle, you won't be able to get these treasures. Yeah, not meaning to be silent during this, it's just that this takes forever to get through, and so, I mean, if you had opened the locks, you'd be starting like all the way down here. You can see the second set of locks here, but, well, it's a straight narrow path all the way to the end. I guess this is another set of locks here that you could have gone out to. And I think the reason why that these locks are here is because if Evrae Altana petrifies you, well, you can open the locks and it'll restart the battle again, so that, say, if Tidus gets petrified, well, Tidus would no longer be petrified. If you get petrified underwater, it's instant death.
Uni! You're all right? We were so worried. It's good to have you back.
Thank you. Keenock.
Why, you?
I have saved him. He was a man who craved power. And great power he had, but he feared losing it. Trembling at unseen enemies, he spent his days scheming petty schemes, chased by his fears, never knowing rest. You see, now he has no worries. He has been granted sleep eternal. Death is a sweet slumber. All the pain of life is gently swept away. Ah, yes. So you see, if all life were to end in Spira, all suffering would end. Don't you see? Do you not agree? That, Yuna, is why I need you. Come, Lady Yuna. Come with me to Zanarkand, the lost city of the dead. With death on our side, we will save Spira, and for this, I will take from you your strength, Yuna, your life, and become the next Sin. I will destroy Spira. I will save it.
You're totally nuts!
Unpleasant. Very well. I will give you your death. You seem to want it so.
Run! Protect Yuna! Go!
No way! I'm fighting!
I said go!
Ah!
I won't leave Kamari behind.
He's a guardian. Protecting you is everything.
Oren!
That's right. We're all guardians. Yeah, and you know what that means? Yuna, anywhere you go, I'll follow.
Anywhere I go?
Yeah, anywhere.
Well then, let's go!
Hey, Kamari! Leave some for us!
Hey, wait for me!
Me too! I'll go too.
So much for Kimari's heroic sacrifice here. Just like Seymour had stated to Maester Micah, he'd be here to take care of us just in case if we got out. And I don't know what Owaka's doing here,
These days, eh? Anything you want, I've got it.
but he's here. He doesn't really sell anything that we need, just potions and regular items.
Traitor or no, Lady Yuna's always been a friend to Owaka.
Well, we know how you got in here, but let's go ahead and change our equipment around to make sure that it's more ideal for the scenario at hand. Alright then, so instead of having the Stoneward equipment, we've just taken out and put our soldiers' HP equipment back on. I like to have Titus specifically with the Sonic Steel, just has really good utility to it. Suppose we can also take care of some sphere grading here while we're at it, because get a little bit of extra strength here and some MP. But more than anything, we're very close to an extremely important and essential spell for our battle here with Seymour, which is going to be Reflect. That's going to be really, really key to making this next battle with Seymour absolute cake. You'll see why in a little bit. But anyway, regarding this whole scene, yeah, I don't know exactly why no one's ever gotten out of the Via Purifico. I mean, it seems like, I don't know, you're pretty much asking people just to swim out. Maybe they weren't expecting two professional blitzball players to be guardians, but I don't know. I think it's a little bit ridiculous. I also think it's really ridiculous how Seymour goes on about life and death and how death is just so sweet because it just relieves you of all pain. And these Guado guardians right next to him are just like, yeah, all right, we're down with this too.
Hold on, Kamari.
So we have this long walk hall where you can go ahead and actually do a little bit of grinding here for the battle to come. I'll be taking care of the battles just fairly normally. I'm not going to be doing any grinding. There's no real reason to. I've leveled up my characters pretty well enough to deal with every situation that's going to come at hand with us throughout the storyline. So, not really much to say about these guys. These guys we obviously fought back over when we were infiltrating Bavel, when we were crashing the wedding. So, nothing really extraordinary about these guys. Just try to get some participation credits for everybody, and that'll be that. Let's see, this guy's weak to fire, so I don't know if Lulu's going to be able to take him out in one go here. No, I didn't think so. Yeah, we're at the point in the game where magic has taken a massive back seat to our physical attack damage, specifically because I just utilized those strength spheres that I got from the Thunder Plains by dodging all of those lightning bolts to begin with, as well as cleverly doing the whole friend sphere that I got at home and return spheres that I've got playing blitzball, so there's a lot. But let's make our way down to Seymour here. You know, although I don't really like this hallway here, these enemies do give a ton of experience. Yeah, it serves as a pretty decent place to catch up on sphere levels if you've kind of been neglecting that. Speaking of which, we're going to go ahead and take care of a little bit more sphere gridding here. Yuna's been the one gaining the most sphere levels because, well, she's kind of been the one that's been lagging behind. We haven't had her, as I explained last time. Now this is the one. This is the ability we really wanted to learn. Reflect. It's going to be extremely useful here when we save Kimahri, so to speak. I'm going to leave these guys just be because, well, not much of a real reason as to why we need to go ahead and sphere grid with those guys. But I think that's going to do it for this time. We'll go ahead and take on Seymour next time.